Hello and welcome to another episode of TEVAdrive. Today we are driving the Mercedes GLC 350e plug-in hybrid. This is one of the first samples to arrive in Canada. This dealership, which is Mercedes Brampton, just got it yesterday. They were sitting in the port of Halifax for actually over a month, waiting for Transport Canada to test it. So I think we're one of the first people to actually drive it in Canada. This car is a plug-in hybrid, which means it has a gasoline engine. It's a 4-cylinder turbo with over 200 horsepower and another almost 100 horsepower and electric motor. So the total system horsepower is approximately 320 horsepower. The manufacturer suggests that the 0 to 100 kilometers per hour can be achieved in 5.9 seconds. Obviously that would be in hybrid sport mode. So we'll begin with showing you the dashboard. It actually right now is showing a total range of 152 kilometers. Electric range is 24. As you know, these demo cars are driven pretty hard, so it doesn't reflect the actual maximum capability of the electric propulsion system. I'm sure based on the battery size, which is approximately 9 kilowatt hours, that the people will be able to achieve between 40 to 50 kilometers max in electric mode. Now we'll show you some of the various modes available. First of all, by pressing this button here, you can change the mode of the car. As you can see here, it starts with a hybrid mode. Then there's a pure electric mode, which for some reason seems to be not available right now. We'll figure out why. So hybrid, E-mode, E-save, which just saves the battery, and actually there's a charge mode which is available in some plug-in hybrids, which actually charges the battery. As you can see right now on this display, we're at 93%, 94%. The car is actually being charged by the electric engine, and the engine will, once the battery is depleted, is capable of recharging it from 0 to 100 probably over a number of kilometers on highway driving. So it's a great little feature that some other plug-in hybrids have, like the Outlander, but some others don't. It's practical when you're doing some highway and you're driving into the city and you want to recharge the battery and then use pure electric mode while in the city. Then you have another toggle here, which exists in all the modes, pretty much. Now, first one is you have the Eco, which is the one at the bottom. Then you have Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. There you go. So obviously if you want to keep it in all electric, you want to put it in Eco mode to achieve the longest range. If you use Comfort or any of the other modes, then basically what's going to happen is the car will use both engine and electric motor. So let's take it for a quick spin. Hopefully we can switch it to E mode. Right now the engine is charging the battery. We're up to 96%. We'll try and switch it to the EV mode while we're driving. Okay, let's go. So the gear shifter is a typical Mercedes. It's behind the steering wheel. There we go. We're in drive. Let's try again to switch to E mode. Right now it doesn't seem to be available, so we're still in hybrid. We'll have to try and figure out why it's not letting us use the E mode. Hopefully soon. Hopefully it'll switch in a little while. So this car is just arriving now. Based on the battery size, the rebate, which has not been published as of today yet, and today we're January the 20th. It's a nice warm day, by the way. It's plus 5 degrees. So basically they were estimated that the government rebate should be, once published, to be around $8,000. The MSRP on this is being published at $59,000 for the base price. So minus the $8,000, you're looking at a $51,000 net, of course, plus all the possible options that you can achieve. So right now we are driving without the climate on because it's warm enough today. It's plus 5. Obviously, if we turn on we're actually, right now you can see we're in eDrive. So we're now, the system has accepted, even though we're in hybrid mode, the system has accepted to drive it in electric mode. Obviously, the range, the estimated electric range will depend on your style of driving, whether you're using the climate or not. Right now we have the climate off. If we turn it on by putting it on auto here, it may affect the so far there's no change to the electric range. So unfortunately, you see, the moment you turn on the climate, unfortunately the engine just kicked in. So this is kind of fairly typical of plug-in hybrids, where once you turn the heating on, it'll tend to try and use more of the engine power as opposed to staying in pure electric. Let's see if we can switch it to E mode. Again, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be wanting to stay in E mode for whatever reason, so we'll ask the sales reps exactly why that may be. So right now we're in hybrid. You can hear the engine. Hopefully it's just for the acceleration part of the phase, and then we'll see if it'll go back to all electric. We'll try and hit a bit of highway to see. Apparently you're able to maintain it in electric mode up to about 120-130 kilometers per hour, beyond which the car will obviously kick the engine. So right now we're still using the engine power. Now we're in drive, but the moment we touch the accelerator, it goes in the engine kicks in, unfortunately. We'll see if that situation changes in a moment. Maybe once the car warms up. We have 18 degrees, that's the climate control right here. We have both zones at 18 degrees, which shouldn't use up too much battery. Right now, of course, we're charging the battery because we're decelerating. We're gonna try and accelerate a little bit to highway speed. Being in the hybrid mode, of course, it's during acceleration phase it will use the engine. We're in eco mode. On the way back we'll try and use the Sport and Sport Plus, which obviously will use all of its 300 plus horsepower of the combined engine and electric motor. So we're still, energy flow is showing us that we're using the engine right now. We'll try and achieve the highway speed of 100. Right now we're in charge mode. If we try and maintain the 100 kilometers per hour, again, it defaults to using the engine. So we'll try and use different modes. Again, the E mode doesn't seem to be available. E-save and charge, they're all still there. We'll see if it makes a difference if we put it in comfort. So we're in eco. I put it in comfort mode. And now try and put it in E mode. Still doesn't seem to be available. And let's try other modes. Sport obviously is gonna use both engines. And if we put it in Sport Plus, so since we cannot turn it onto the E mode right now, let's at least try and see the max power mode of the Sport Plus. We're just on the 410. Obviously, when using both motor and the engine, it accelerates very, very pleasantly. But the point of this review is actually to try and test it in the pure electric mode. So if we can't put the car back onto the electric mode, we'll have to try and figure out and take it for another spin when we can actually keep it in all electric mode. So right now it's still in hybrid and it's using the engine. Let's turn it back into eco mode, and let's try and put it in the E mode, and still won't let us do it, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll have to return to the dealership to try and get them to help us with the switch to the pure electric mode. They were able to achieve it. They said that they test drove it all day yesterday, and they were able to keep it pretty much all electric, including both city driving and highway driving. So we'll just have to try and figure out why today the car won't listen to us. Other than that, radar sensors dirty. See operator's manual. This car has just been you know, prepped. It's not even ready for sale yet, so there's gonna be all kinds of error messages probably popping up. Radar would be used during adaptive cruise control operation, which we're not, but it's just telling us that the radars are dirty. Maybe the car just has a little bit of salt on it. So we'll try and turn the climate off. I'm not sure if that's gonna help us put it back in the full electric mode. We're gonna return to the highway. So obviously, as soon as we let off the accelerator, it goes into the EV mode. But the point of this is for us to actually see how far we can keep it in pure EV mode without using the engine. So the range of 24 kilometers, of course, it's on the low side. Again, you should be able to achieve 30, 40 and more based on the battery size and the size of the car. This is a mid-size SUV. So, you know, you should have no issue with careful driving to achieve over 40 kilometers in pure electric mode. We're gonna let this truck go. There we go. There was a warning about a blind spot. That's good to hear. Of course, this car is tough with motor technology and all kinds of bells and whistles and warnings, warning bells, etc., which is always good to see. So yeah, we'll try and see how we can put it back into the EV mode, because that's mainly what we're interested in here at Toronto Electric Vehicle Association, obviously. Now, Mercedes, this is the third plug-in hybrid that is now available in Canada. More of them in Europe and in the US, but in Canada, this is the third one. The first two that were imported here was the S-Class plug-in hybrid, S550e, as well as the GLE 550e, which is the bigger brother of this SUV. And now this is the third one. Mercedes Canada unfortunately has no plans to bring in either the E-Class or the C-Class plug-in hybrids, which is too bad. I believe that they would have been popular here. So this is now the most affordable plug-in hybrid from Mercedes in Canada. It is actually $10,000 less than the Volvo XC60 T8, which is a direct competitor, and it's only $10,000 more than top-of-the-line version of the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. So again, the Mitsubishi top-of-the-line plug-in hybrid Outlander is $49,000. This is $59,000, and the Volvo XC60 T8 is $69,000 before rebates, of course. This is where you know, you see it's how well it's positioned right now. It's the most affordable luxury plug-in hybrid SUV in Canada. We'll see what happens when the other firms such as BMW bring smaller SUV plug-in hybrids, or Audi next year is going to bring a full electric e-tron Quattro. And obviously right now we're in pure electric, but we're stopped. So we'll try and resume our filming once we figure out how to put it in pure electric mode, and we'll get back to you in a moment. And we're back. So we finally managed. We stopped for a quick top up. We plugged it into a charger here in Brampton at a sports complex, and we restarted the car, and now we're able to finally, as you can see, we're in E mode, E-Drive, still at 91%. We're showing 23-kilometer range. So now returning to the dealership, we'll hopefully be able to keep it in E mode on the highway. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now we can truly experience the E mode and see how peppy or not it is. It's only 100 horsepower or so electric motor. For a heavy car like this, it's a small, compact, actually mid-size SUV. So seems to be quite peppy. As you can see, the RPM is at 0, so it's not the needle on the RPM is not moving because we're in E mode right now, and you can also see it on the screen. We're gonna try and enter the highway. The warning sign was about blind spot. So we're going to be entering the highway. It's kind of nice to see the engine RPM at 0. And let's try and accelerate to highway speeds to see how it feels. We're on the ramp to the 410 here in Brampton. We're at 90. We're at 100. Almost 120, and basically the car is still maintaining its e-drive mode, as you can see. Obviously the battery is getting used up. We're down to 73%, but you're able to keep it up to at least 120 on the highway in e mode. So it's not super peppy, obviously, but it's peppy enough to allow you to accelerate normally on the ramp to enter the highway, you know, and maintain it at highway speeds. Electric range is showing down to 17 kilometers. Obviously, if you try to stay on the highway at let's say between 100 and 120, the range would not be 24 or 30 or 40. It would be less than that. Obviously, the higher your speed, the lower your electric car estimated range. So the car has already recalculated. We just got off the highway, and we'll try and drive it for a bit in all electric mode in the city. Obviously, it's very, very quiet. We just noticed when leaving the parking lot that the car appears to have the low-speed pedestrian warning. You can even hear it while inside the car, so it's only at low speed, and it's meant to warn pedestrians that an electric car is approaching. Otherwise, you know, that's for safety reasons. It's required in most European countries, and soon it might be also required in Canada and in the US. Some cars automatically have it. You know, our Mitsubishi had it, Ford did not. Our i3, depending on the country, either has it or doesn't. So this car appears to have this low-speed pedestrian warning. So again, we can accelerate a little bit here. The speed limit here is 80, and we're able to achieve it. You can hear a little bit the electric motors now. You can hear the whining nose. I don't know, I'm not sure if the camera or the mic will pick it up. You can definitely hear it a little bit, both under acceleration and deceleration. Obviously, if you're decelerating, the energy flow goes, it recharges the battery. The regen is not very strong, so it's very minimal. It feels like any other gasoline car. It almost feels like it's coasting, so it's not decelerating very strongly, but it's still, as you can see, it still recharges the battery. So we do like the fact that this car has an e-charge mode, which again, if you drive in the city, you deplete your battery, you enter the highway, you can actually use your highway driving or any other driving as actually while on gasoline engine to recharge the battery, and then when you leave the highway, you can actually go back into the full electric mode while in the city. This will be very helpful in the cities that allow access to certain streets for only in electric mode. So all in all, this is a very nice vehicle. It's well priced, it's attractively priced. I think it's gonna do well. There we go again. Here's a blind spot monitor warning. We'll be returning to the dealership soon, and if you have any questions, you can contact Ian Cass at Mercedes Brampton. He was kind enough to give us this car for a test drive, and it's definitely worth a test drive. Again, it's attractively priced. It's the most affordable luxury plug-in hybrid SUV, and it's only $10,000 more than similarly equipped Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.